Well, hello, this is HQ in the house with a panel review. As a matter of fact, it's the Team Fatty panel. The Team Fatty panel from the other day called Is Andrew Tate Right About Women? So this super panel, amazing panel with men and women, a couple of big ballers over here, specifically the public offender, Ali, Fatty, no Fugazi, they were having a discussion about intrinsic value. And they kept going around and round about intrinsic value. Do women have intrinsic value? Do men? I say you're all idiots. Intrinsic value is just that. It's value. No one gives you intrinsic value because it's not theirs to give, right? Intrinsic value is not decided by other people. It is rooted in your existence, your humanity, your soul. You have it by default. The moment you're born, regardless of who recognizes it or not, that's what makes it intrinsic. If you allow someone else to decide your value, you give them the power over you. Now, these men were, as foolishly as most men have in the past, said, what is a woman's intrinsic value? Let's be clear. The Bible doesn't say anything about a woman's intrinsic value. Let's be clear. So some of you idiots out there thinking the Bible says you lose intrinsic value, that's not true. You're born with it. Nobody can take it away. Sexual market value, maybe that might be closer to what they're talking about, but I couldn't get to that either. Because they think you lose your virginity, you lose value, which is the dumbest thing on this planet. If you fall into it, okay? You hand them the power. If you let them take that power away from you, they define you based on their standards, which will always shift to suit their needs. They want us to be virgins, so they're going to call us less value. They don't make enough money, so we call them bums. If they withdraw their approval, the moment you stop meeting their expectations, then it's a problem with you. They make your sense of self fragile and conditional, which opens the door to control, shame, and emotional abuse, which is what these men on these panels have been doing, trying to shame you because you're not a virgin. Why should you not let someone give you value? Because if they can give it, then they can take it away. And no one has the right to do that. And no one can do that because it's intrinsic. And that's something as sacred as your words should never be negotiated, should never be left in the hands of any other human being. No one should be able to put you on a panel and say you're this, that, and the third. You don't have enough value. That's why I don't listen to men like this or any other man who tells me I don't have value. When you know your intrinsic value, you stop performing for acceptance and you start protecting your peace. You choose partners, friends, and environments that recognize your worth, not define it. It's nobody's business what your value is except the person that you're involved with romantically. So let's get into the listening of this nonsense that was on the panel the other day. Let's go.
Gotta go get money. Oh, being kind, being generous. Oh, that's for weak people. You don't want to do that. You want to be tough. You got to be a protector. You got to go to we start doing that stuff to little boys. And then when they become men, they go up and they get microphones and start talking and, start lying on podcasts. Like that's the pipeline. Like that's the podcast to, peanut head dude pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Like bunch of men lying to their little kid, lying to boys, and they grow up to be dummies. But women, society doesn't do that to women. Society allows women to maintain their humanity for the most part, and women grow up to be human beings. They realize their humanity. They continue to be human beings from the moment they're born to the moment they die, right? So they help the community. They don't hurt the community. They raise the children. They don't lie. They don't beat. They don't abuse. They're not doing this as a collective. Of course, individuals do this, but as a collective, they're not doing this. So they keep their intrinsic value. Men lose our intrinsic value, and that's the problem.
Well, see, I have to disagree. People say a man has no value unless he earns money and can take care of a family. But because because society has long tied a man's worth to his performance, his provision, and his power, not his inner life, like he's saying, with their emotions, humanity, etc., etc. The mindset is a result of generational gender roles that treated men as providers and protectors only, not as human beings. One, the historical roles for centuries. Men were expected to be the breadwinners. Their ability to protect and provide was equated with masculinity, and anything outside of that was considered a weakness. Two, social conditioning. Boys are often raised to believe they must earn their keep, earn their potential, hide their feelings, and prove their manhood through money, dominance, and status. Vulnerability, like he's saying, isn't valued in men. Productivity is. So therefore, this is what he's saying. We take that out of a man. We take his manhood, or we take his vulnerability, his humanity out of him. So he's just thinking, my worth is only my money. And three, conditional love and respect. In some relationships and environments, a man only receives respect if he's useful to the group. If he can't provide financially, he may feel invisible, disposable, emasculated. I get it, especially if he's surrounded by people who see men only as wallets and warriors. But here's the deeper thing. The deeper thing. A man's value, just like a woman's value, is intrinsic. His ability to love, lead with integrity, grow emotionally, and show up with a presence and character is just as meaningful as his income. Yes, responsibility matters, but when worth is reduced to a paycheck or her vagina, it crushes people under impossible pressure. It leaves no room for mental health, purpose, or peace. Men and women need to be seen as human beings first, not just human doings. Let's keep going.
That's the disconnect.
Okay, so intrinsic, you just made up your own definition of the word intrinsic. It does not mean that. Intrinsic is something internal, it is unchangeable. So you're just making up words to mean whatever you want it to mean. You sound like a radical feminist, and you probably don't think that a man is a man, that a man can be a woman, and also a woman can be a man. You sound crazy right now. So your definition
Oh,
of
hold on.
intrinsic
Hold on.
does
Didn't you
not
just say
mean
that it
what
was
you
okay
just
to?
said.
Oh, sorry.
Your definition, I'm speaking right now, don't cut me off. Your definition of intrinsic is just wrong. So you're using the wrong word. So back to the conversation. You do believe that there is, let's just get off intrinsic because you are slow on that. You don't know what you're talking about. But back to, you do realize that there are values in a woman in the opposite sex eyes where, as far as you said yes to reproduction value, there's a time, and I don't even agree where, I do agree that it's under 25, but I would say, like, 18, that would be, peak, I would say. And other cultures would probably say like 17 or even 16, where that would be a peak for the woman's reproduction value. But here in America, it's legal for the woman to the woman is legal at 18. So I would say 18 will be, that's her peak for her reproduction value. So when Six is speaking about women has value and in certain areas, but you're saying that it's weird to look at a woman's age. Well, no, that's not weird at all, because you would say, well, here's my argument. My argument argument is very simple when it comes to this value thing and sexual value. I think that our attraction triggers comes from a reproduction standpoint. I repeat, our attraction triggers comes from a reproductive standpoint. Men are attracted to certain things in a woman that exemplifies her to have the ability to reproduce. Like, for example, it studies on this. Men are attracted to the smaller waist and the wider hips. So the waist to hip ratio, which signifies that she has the ability to give a successful birth, depending on wider hips. Women are attracted to taller men in the T shape, broader shoulders, bigger chest, bigger.
In your Bible, woman was created in the image of God. Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. This is foundational, though. A woman's value is not in her beauty, virginity, or utility to a man, but her reflection of God's image. That's it. That alone makes her sacred and valuable. She was formed with a purpose. It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make a helper suitable to him. The term helper is also used for God as a helper to Israel. It's not a demeaning or secondary role. It points to an essential partnership role. A woman's creation is intentional and purposeful, not as a possession or an afterthought like you men seem to be declaring on these panels, but as God's answer to what was not good in the world. A woman was formed as an answer to what was not good in this world. Wow, take that in.
Bigger arms. What does this insinuate for the woman? Well, it insinuates safety. Well, he has the ability to keep me safe. He's taller, he's broader up top. So we're attracted to certain things in one another based off of reproduction value for the man and based off of security value in the woman.
No, according to Proverbs 31:10-31, wisdom, strength, and honor. She is wise. She is valuable, far above rubies. She is wise, industrious, strong, generous, and respected. Her value is not reduced by her age, motherhood, or sexual history, but defined by her character and her contribution. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. He said not her age, motherhood, or sexual history shall her value be reduced. Proverbs 31:10-31. What are they talking about? And yet they're Bible thumpers.
That's what she looks for in the man. So, I totally think it's okay and not weird for a man to be attracted to a woman that's 18 years old, because guess what? She would be at her peak to give him babies, and not just one or two babies. Like if she's 33, I'm talking about a lot of babies if she's 18 years old. And men like to spread their seed far and wide and leave a legacy behind. But first, let's just pivot to another conversation, because you said, I just have a question.
Hey, wait. Wait. Hold on.
You want to reply to that?
I definitely want to reply to that.
Yeah, sure.
And please be like, let's be 30 seconds. Let's not go on monologues. Okay.
It's a rant. I'm pretty good with words. I know what the meaning of words are. I don't use them out of context like you do all the time. I'm good at it, first and foremost. Like we could set it up. I know you like challenges. We could literally do like a literacy test, and anytime you want to, we could set that up, because you don't know what you're talking about. But
Your
secondly,
definition of
no,
intrinsic is wrong.
Hey, cool. He took that homonyms. You gotta let him go, man. Let him go.
you calm down. So, no, that wasn't an ad hom attack at all.
No,
And
not
then
you.
secondly, I think I find it funny because it seems like men like Cooley, they find any reason to talk about like being like having access to small girls. It's like weird how obsessed you guys are with like kids. And being that you are old enough to have a child that's 18 years old right now, I think it's like really, really despicable to be on some like, yeah, an 18-year-old is hot to trot. She's good to go. And in some cultures, even 16. Like, what are you talking about? That's weird. You shouldn't, grown ass men, again, adult men should not be trying to sleep with teenagers. Anytime that's the case, that's a red flag. Just in my opinion, I think that's a red flag. I don't do legals. I'm talking about morality. It's weird. Secondly, the thing that you bringing up this whole like wider hips and all of that stuff, sir, all of that is not scientific. You can't cite the study. The reason why that's not true is because in different cultures, some cultures, they like skinny, rail thin women. In some cultures, they like women that are 350 pounds. What are you talking about? That's not a human thing. For what you're saying to be true, just keep in mind, it would have to be something that you can stretch across all humanity, right? But since we know that beauty is not only in the eye of the beholder, but it's set by society, right? What I think is beautiful, I think we use the term like conventional beauty or whatever, is literally set up by society. They tell us we are conditioned to believe what is beautiful and what is not beautiful, what is attractive and what is not attractive. You acting as if this is a biological thing, it's just not proven and it's not true. So why are you citing pseudoscientific studies at best, if not just making that shit up off the top of your head? I'm curious.
So you don't think that influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior? Is that
I literally
yes or
just
no?
said that. That's literally what I just said.
Yeah, I know. That's what I see
Hold
what
on,
you're appealing to.
let him go.
So you're appealing to-
Let him. You land.
Okay, you can have the.
You just asked me the question. I'm just telling you, like literally.
You gotta move forward. So
Totally
nobody
fine.
says nobody got interrupted. Let him go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what you're appealing to is influence. That's why I said that influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. What I did was I always start with the cause of things, the first influence. And manipulation happens when you focus on effects before getting to the cause. I would argue that the first influence is the biology. That's why I went to the biology. The other influences would be external influences like culture, society, and social norms and things like that, right? So yeah, there can be a culture where they'll appeal to, and some place in Africa or another country, they'll like, fat women, for an example. That could be a thing culturally, but that does not adhere to their biology, meaning that their biology is telling them to get someone that is healthy and in shape, that is not going to suffer from a bad pregnancy because they're overweight. You get what I'm saying? If you're obese, well, the chances of you giving a successful birth and your baby coming out healthy, that rate decreases. So what you're saying is nonsensical. Get to the root of things like
We know that it's untrue because Bum Keisha is bigger and Bum Keisha is overweight. And they have plenty of children and have never had a problem having children. So I already know what he's talking is nonsense. He's always talking nonsense. It never makes sense. He contradicts himself. no one can have a child, or no one's going to have a healthy child because she's overweight. That's a lie. Most women are overweight when they do have a child. When they're pregnant, in their 9 months, they're always overweight. So that's just a dumb statement on his part. He's just trying to shame us into thinking only skinny women get men. Not all skinny women get men, and a lot of men like women overweight. I'm tired of that trope of people saying, oh, only skinny women get men. Heavy women get men too. And don't give me the bullshit about, oh, heavy women don't get married. No, y'all ain't marrying your skinny women. You ain't marrying the skinny women. So that argument is out the window.
I'm sticking on. Then you go on to say things like morality. Well, I'm coming from morality, but you're atheist. You don't even have any moral beliefs or anywhere to back your moral beliefs from. Where does
Whoa. Back up. We, as people who are not religious, don't need a book to tell us how to act. I got my values and morals from my parents. I'm inherently a good person. So you don't need a Bible. I don't need a book or Quran or Torah or anything else to tell me to be a good person. So that's just dumb right there. He has moral beliefs just like everyone else. He's a good person. We don't need a book. Some of us don't need help. Some of y'all need help. You need the book. The book helps you.
Does morality even come from if you don't have any epistemic belief? Where does it even come from? So you're saying things that you don't even know what you're speaking about.
Okay. So morality doesn't come from religion. Religion was created after morality existed. Morality is a complex idea that actually comes from you personally. It's a combination of things, but it also, morality is set again by your society, because in this country, it's moral for us to eat cows. In other countries, they look at that and they frown upon that. In other countries, it's cool for them to eat dogs. In this country, we don't like eating dogs. It ain't got nothing to do with dogs are dirty or none of that type of stuff. We eat pigs. It's a moral discussion. Oh, it's wrong to kill a pet. It's da-da-da-da. In other countries, they don't care. They kill a pet. They'll kill a dog. They don't care. They'll eat it. They'll skin a cat. They don't care, right? That is, morality has nothing to do with religion, sir. It has everything to do with how you, right? I do believe that we, as a mechanism of survival, we know that we don't like things done to us, right? Because they're unsafe. So we also don't want to do them to other people. And then societally, we are taught what morality is. Now, it doesn't mean you can't go beyond that. You could come up, as you grow older, your morality can be shapen and sharpened if you want it to be. If you work on it like me, like my morality has definitely grown the older I've gotten, right? But if you don't, if you're stuck and stagnant, then your morality will never go anywhere. It will never grow. And if you need an external source for you to base your morality in, then you don't actually have morality. Morality comes from it is inside of you. It is what, you know what I'm saying? It's inside of you. You got to look to somebody else or something else and be like, oh, this told me it's moral, and thus I'm going to follow it, or whatever the case may be. Then that's on you. I don't need that. I don't need somebody to tell me something.
Please explain it to him. It comes from society. It comes from upbringing. It comes from conscience. It comes from ability, empathy, philosophy, human reason, life experiences. That's where morals come from. They don't come from a book. So when people say, oh, you don't have any morals because you don't read the Bible, it's nothing to do with the Bible. You need the book. I don't need the book. I know how to be a moral person. This is what he's saying.
It's bad. I know it's bad. I know it's bad because I'm a human being. And I know what I don't want. Like, I would never, ever, ever want somebody to try to assault me. Therefore, why would I try to assault somebody, right? Because I don't want to be assaulted. I don't like being lied to. So I don't lie. I can't stand it. It's very, it hurts me.
Let me table the conversation right here, because we have to conduct the show. If you guys want us to moderate the debate on both of y'all morality, all that, you're more than willing to call us. We make sure that we give us a fair chance while you stream for your people. So if you guys want to do it, if you guys want to do it, just let us know when we do it. But we have to go back to the show. Cool. 30 seconds to reply to what he said, sure. And then we go back to the show. I'm sorry for the people that are on the panel and are a little bit freeze, it's our responsibility. We'll pass you the microphone.
Yeah, in regards to morality, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just appealing to his own preferences. He has no moral epistemic belief at all. He doesn't even know what epistemology mean or any of these words that I'm saying even mean. So this is why he didn't refute anything. He just talked in circles and said morality doesn't come from religion. No one said that morality came from religion. He's just talking nonsense.
And no, he didn't say it came from religion, but most people think that's where it comes from. That's where most people think it comes from. All right. But that's not the case. Okay. We're all individual human beings. Okay. But some of us use internal thought to guide our morals and values, meaning we turn inward, we think deeply, we think honestly, we often uncomfortably about what kind of person that we want to be and how we want our actions to affect other people. Okay. And I do it all the time. Does this hurt someone else? Asking myself the hard questions about, would it be okay if I did this? Would this be okay if somebody did that? Would I be proud of myself if I did this, that, and the third? These are questions that help you hold up a mirror to your soul, not just your habits, right? I listen to my conscience, usually feel it, quiet, hesitation, sense of peace, a heavy knot in your chest, maybe. I don't know. That's your internal compass. That's what that is. It's your internal guide. Okay. It might not be loud, but it's there. It gives you nudges. Okay. Why do I feel uneasy? Why do I feel uncomfortable? Am I guilty? Do I feel guilty? Learning to tell the difference between the two takes emotional honesty between you and your internal thought process. You got to reflect on your experiences too. Your values evolve through life experiences. When you hurt someone and see the damage that you do, and when someone shows you kindness that changes your life or makes you hesitate or fall back, those moments shape you as well. What did you learn from that experience? Do you want to do it to another person? What kind of legacy do you want to have on this planet? Define who you want to be. It also defines who you want to be and not just what you want to do. It's the eternal moral thought process. It isn't about just behavior. It's about identity. You might think you want to be something else. You want to protect the vulnerable. You want to protect the poor, the old, the indigent. Those are my thoughts. Those are the things that I want to do. That makes my conscience, makes me feel better. I don't lie about it, not because I'll get caught, but because the words mean something to me, to be honest and truthful. That's value-based living, choosing actions that match your deepest convictions. And I'm willing to grow and confront myself. I may recognize some values were taught that don't sit right anymore. So I change those. I adjust. I grow. Okay. And I redefine the roles that I have with my humility and my fellow man. Was I wrong to believe what I thought then? Did I believe that racism was correct? Did I believe that this was correct? Do I believe? It hurts my conscience to see ICE dragging people into vans. I don't know about you. Maybe y'all don't care. But that is my moral compass that's inside of me that says that's wrong on a basic level, okay? That's a true moral mind. Okay, your internal thought becomes your moral compass when you slow down, reflect, think about it, get honest, and choose integrity over impulse. You don't just react, you reflect. I reflect all the time. I just don't obey rules. I don't look at a Bible or a book and say, oh, it says do X, Y, and Z, and then I follow that book. I don't need a book. I don't need a book because I'm an inherently good person. I get my values and morals from the internal workings of me and what guides me. That's what it means to be guided by your internal values rather than external pressure or an external Bible. A lot of y'all are conditioned to use the Bible. I'm not. And yet here, I'm a successful person without the Bible. Go figure. And there's a lot of people that are successful without the Bible. Go figure. And that's all that's important. So we're going to end it here simply because this was the argument that we wanted to have about morals and values and intrinsic value and things like that. Your intrinsic value is internal. It's something you're born with, you don't get rid of. So nobody should make you feel as though you don't have any worth because you're old, because you've already had a baby, because you had 5 babies, because you've never been married, because you're single. Only you can determine your worth. Okay? And the rest of the people that be on panels talking about your worth ain't anything because you had 3 boyfriends, you slept with 3 boyfriends, they're bozos. Stop listening to bozo. Listen to internal thought process, because you're a good human being if you're a good human being, and you're a shitty human being if you're a shitty human being, and you know the damn difference.